Those Chiefs, right? Yeah. Let's go, Buffalo. Hey. Hey. Let's go, Buffalo. All right, so he's a good friend of mine, Burton Kelso. He's read all the manuals. He doesn't remember them, but he is a tech expert coming to us from Kansas City, Missouri. Let's.
Home of the Chiefs.
Go Chiefs!
There you go. Yeah.
You got one. There you go.
That's all I get? I was ready for the home song. I was going to do the Kumasabi and all that stuff, right?
Really?
No, not really. I am not going to do the Kumasabi. I got the suit on. If I had, like, you know, now the clicker. All right. Was that my intro? That's it? Can I get more?
No.
Get out of my way. Go sit down. So good morning, everyone. I'm Burton Kelso, the technology expert, fresh out of Kansas City. And one of the good things about me is I hate making technology boring. So hopefully this presentation is going to be fun and exciting and educational, because I want you to walk away from this knowing more about how to keep yourself safe from cyber criminals. So let's see if Jay, did you sabotage me already?
Try the on button on the side.
Why wouldn't you turn it on? I mean, isn't that your job?
I believe you're a tech expert.
You had
know
one
the
job.
Manuals.
Jeremiah, you had one job, to turn the clicker on.
Making you look good is hard.
It is hard. Oh, there we go. I've got to like point it at the screen.
No, don't do that.
I'm going to skip this tech tip because we're going to talk about this later. All right, so the worst thing that you want to see in your lives as real estate professionals is that you have been hacked. I know that makes everyone's day right when they have to report to their tech guy that my social media account was hacked, my email was hacked, and it's embarrassing and it's something that you do not want to deal with. So I'm going to show you tips and tricks to help keep you safe. But before we do that, to liven up this presentation, we're going to play a game called Myth or Fact. So I'm going to throw up a random, well, so you got me on this clicker, dude. I got to like point it at the laptop. And I went all the way back to the beginning. All right, we're going to get this, there we go. Myth or fact? We're going to play trivia. I love trivia. Hopefully you do too. And it'll break up the monotony and boring portion of cybersecurity. So number one, myth or fact? I'm going to bring my own clicker next time. This is killing me. So myth or fact? Rochester sits on the southern border of Lake Michigan. Is that a myth or is that a fact? So what is the real answer? I want to know if you know your city. I tell them, you're like, I know. So there are a lot of cyber threats out there that you have to deal with. Tons of them. And I know it like boggles your mind when you think about all the different threats that you have to deal with in your real estate lives. So number one was phishing. You're killing me with this. And phishing is like the top cyber threat out there. When you get infected with a virus or with ransomware, most likely it's going to come in a form of a phishing attack. And there's three types of fish. There's catfish, I'm joking. Bass, I'm joking. Realistically, there's email phishing, there's voice mail or voice phishing, and then there's smishing, which is SMS text phishing, where criminals will try to send you a text message to get you to click on a link. Other threats that you have to deal with, there's ransomware, which is when criminals infect your devices and lock up all your files, and you can't get access to them anymore. Next on the menu is credential stuffing. And this is the act where cyber criminals will find all of your credentials on the dark web and use them to log into your online accounts. So for example, if someone commandeers your social media account and you're like, oh my gosh, my device has been hacked, that's not necessarily the case. Since 2012, there have been a ton of data breaches, and I can guarantee you that your information is floating out on the dark web. What criminals will do is they'll either get on the dark web or they'll purchase your information and they'll use it to log into your accounts. So when you see your email account commandeered, or if you've got home or smart home security like Ring devices, that's how criminals get access to those. So you have to worry about credential stuffing. Next, social media accounts. How many people have had their social media account hacked or duplicated like within the last year? There's some people being shy because I know there's more of you that are like, oh my gosh, I think my social media account is hacked. Well, the purpose of that is twofold. So number one, criminals can use your account to phish to your friends when they take over your social media account. And if you are a real estate professional who likes to boost your post on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, your credit card information is sitting with your social media account. So that means criminals can get in, get your credit card info, and they can use it to like go out and buy a brand new car or a new yacht or whatever. But that's why they're after your accounts, because a lot of people ask about that. And this clicker's killing me. So drive-by hacking. You visit a website, next thing you know, your device is hacked. And there's a such thing because cyber criminals will set up duplicate sites that look like Google, look like your favorite email account, and they will get you to visit that site. Once you visit that site, then it commandeers your device. You get ransomware or it steals all your passwords. So you really have to be careful where you click and where you go on the internet. How many of you are guilty of having this password? I'm not gonna do a show of hands, but I'm kind of psychic and I can tell who's using weak passwords. And after this presentation, I'll come up to you and say, hey, change your password because password 123 isn't gonna work. But weak passwords seriously are a common cyber threat. And believe it or not, large corporations use these passwords. I think even Zuckerberg got hacked because he used the name of his cat for his Facebook account, if you can believe that. And if you don't, you can always Google it if it's true. And I hate to bring this up. Many of you are trusting of your IT guy, but your IT guy can be a criminal in your computer and devices, stealing your photos and your passwords. And many of you don't think about that. Because probably most of you are using your nephew as your IT guy, right? But you have to beware of professional computer people. Not me, but other guys out there are pretty nefarious and want to get access to your stuff. So you need to be careful of your IT guy. And then there's the good old identity theft. People just steal your credentials and then just take over who you are. And it's really easy to do because as real estate agents and professionals, you're out there, you're public figures. So it's easy for someone to commandeer and take over your identity. So let's go back to knowledge. Knowledge is key. You got to inform yourself to make sure that you're safe from all the cyber threats. So let's go through those tips to help you keep safe and secure. So number one, think twice before you click on stuff. And I know that sounds like a no-brainer, but trust me, I own a small IT company in Kansas City, and you would be surprised how many people call the office because they clicked on something that they weren't supposed to. Looked like it came from Aunt Janie, but they click on it knowing good and well that it didn't come from whoever. So you gotta really be careful about what you click on. Now the challenge with cybercrime is most cyber threats are socially engineered. This means that cyber criminals sit around and they probably have like hacking conferences, because we're at Reboot, right? They probably have HackCon 2022 that they're sitting at right now, thinking of different ways that they can trick real estate professionals into clicking on links and falling for a lot of the cyber threats. Because social engineering is the best way to make money, or as they say in the rap industry, Skrilla, right? So the challenge is, how do you avoid being social engineered? So these threats that come across, it's more to get you to react to an email or a phone call or a text message as opposed to thinking about it. Are you serious, Andrea? You're gonna have your moment in the spotlight here like in about an hour, so.
That's cute.
It is cute, but I had to give her a hard time. So anyway, social engineering is why these threats come across, right? So if you get anything from this, if I can get back to the right slide, you just have to stand right here. Remember this, take a photo of this, do whatever, but 99% of cyber threats out there require user interaction. So if you've been hacked in the past, it's your own darn fault because you fell for something that was out there. All of the devices that you own are safe from cyber threats. Doesn't matter if you're a Windows user. Windows users, hold up your hands, please. Or am I at a Mac conference? Mac users, hold up your hands. Doesn't matter, Android or iPhone, they're safe from all the cyber threats out there. And criminals know this. That's why they turn to social engineering in order to trick you to click on those links because they really can't get into your devices. So the next time your social media account's hacked, or your smart device, or your computer is hacked, blame yourself because you fell for something that you shouldn't have fallen for. And don't feel bad. That's why I'm here, to help you identify those threats and to help keep you safe. So, there we go. Right? I got the finger pointing at you that it's your fault. And like I said, most of your cyber threats are going to be phishing schemes, so beware of anything that comes across in your email or Facebook Messenger or Instant Messenger in order to stay safe and secure. One of the best things that's going to help you out, and it's kind of hard to do as real estate professionals, is to become a cyber liar, like Pinocchio. That means that you want to make sure that you're not sharing too much personal information so that cyber criminals can't build a dossier, did I say that right? Yes. About you. Yeah, I struggle with words like that. But anyway, you want to make sure that you are keeping your personal persona secret and create a fake public persona so people can't figure out your birthday and build an identity so that they can steal your personal identity. So when you're going on vacation, kind of lie about it, maybe post that a little bit later. I know as agents, you've got your own phone numbers that you give out to people so that they can contact you. You want to create a fake number so that criminals can't take that number and take over. So lie. And I hate saying that because I think me telling you that automatically guarantees me a trip to hell for telling you the lie. But when you're online, you definitely want to lie and make sure that you're keeping your identity safe and secure. Same thing with your social media accounts. You want to make sure that you're not sharing too much information because, believe it or not, criminals are gathering that information about you so that they can use that to figure out such things as like your passwords. So maybe your password is your dog's name, but you're posting photos of your dog all over social media. It's not going to take long for someone to figure out that Muffy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or whatever is probably your passwords, and you're probably using the same password for all of your online accounts. So you want to make sure that you're not doing that. Same thing with grandma and grandpa. You're using their names, you're sharing anniversary dates, and you're probably using those for passwords. So that's why it's important for you to become a cyber liar when you're talking or sharing information online. Because you've got to post to social media, or you don't have to post to social media. But you need to be careful what you're sharing because criminals are definitely gathering that information. There we go. So number 2, and this is the portion you might want to bring out your laptops and your smartphones for, is that you need to find out what information is being shared about you online. So a great website, probably heard of it, maybe you haven't. Website called HaveIBeenPwned.com. If you visit that website, and to make it easier for you, it's www, and then HaveIBeenPwned is all run together.com. So you can go to that website, type in your email address or your phone number to find out how many times your information has been included in a large-scale data breach. Now, the most that I've seen someone post is I've been pwned 27 times. Not me, but someone else said that. And that's kind of scary because if you've been pwned, one of the first things that you need to do is change passwords to your online accounts. The great thing about HaveIBeenPwned.com is not only can you check your email, you can also check your cell phone number and find out if your cell phone other than being on your real estate website, is floating around on the dark web. I like telling stories, and this is one of my favorite ones to tell. And you probably know this story. So remember the tow truck driver out of Texas who had his tow truck sent to be salvaged? Well, they sent the tow truck overseas to be crushed. But unfortunately, terrorists got a hold of his tow truck. And the guy was on international news where his tow truck was, and they had insurgents with RPGs rolling around in this guy's tow truck committing terrorist acts. Well, of course, this guy starts to get a lot of calls in his tow truck business in Texas because his phone number is still on the side of his truck, and he's got terrorists rolling around, causing havoc, advertising his business. So obviously that's not the reputation that you want. The reason I bring this story up is because if your phone number is in the hands of criminals, they'll spoof your local Rochester number and they'll use it to spam call other people. That's why you need to make sure that your number isn't just out on the dark web for people to use in order to trick other people. So just out of curiosity, has anyone gone to the Have I Been Pwned website to find out how many times they've been pwned? Yes, ma'am. How many times have you been pwned?
4.
So the young lady in the front says she's been pwned 4 times. Anyone else willing to say? Esther said, no, I'm not.
No, but what do you do if you find out you have been home?
You gotta get out of business. I'm joking. No, what you do if you find out that you've been pwned, you've got to make sure that you change passwords for all of your online accounts. And I know everyone groans, oh, burden, you're killing me, Smalls. Yes, you do have to change passwords. I mean, unless you want criminals to get access to your information. Anyone else willing to volunteer how many times they've been pwned? 13? Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, man. You got a lot of work ahead of you. Anyone else?
0.
All right. I think you're just saying that. I want to see your phones. Someone else raise their hand, ma'am.
No, I got 0.
0, okay, all right. We've got some people that haven't been, and that's the number that you want. Yes, 0?
0 on cell phone, 3 times on personal email, twice on business email.
So 0 on cell phone, how many on your personal email?
3.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
12.
Holy cow! It is not my fault. That's a lot. You changing passwords, right?
Several times.
Okay, I hope so. But anyway, you can also go to the section of the Have I Been Pwned website and put in your password that you're currently using. And it will let you know if it's floating around on the dark web as a popular password. And obviously, if you find that out, you need to change passwords. So that's the key. Moving on.
So, if it's just your business website, you change just that password?
Well, the key is, so the question was, if it's just your business website, if it's your business email, do you just change your business email? So the answer to that question is that you need to make sure that you're not using that password anywhere else. Because I know that you, ladies and gents, fall into the habit of using the same passwords for your online accounts. So if you're using that password anywhere else, you need to change that password as well. I hope that answers your question. So myth or fact? Oh, I skipped it. Myth or fact? Ready? So Baby Yoda's real name is Roger. Is that a myth or is that a fact? Oh my gosh, someone says a myth. It is a myth. So anyone care to shout out what Baby Yoda's real name is?
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. No! Grogu is the correct answer. So now I know where all my fellow Star Wars fans are in the room. We'll talk later. All right, so number 3 is to improve your password and device protection. How in the heck do you do that? Well, it's challenging, isn't it? With all of those different passwords that you have to deal with all of your online accounts. Correct? I get an amen? A hell yes? Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. What do you do about that? Well, there's several things that you should do. But the number 1 rule of passwords in the year 2022 and beyond is to quit using passwords. Start using passphrases. And to give you an example of a passphrase, it's two unrelated words that you would use in order to create a secure password. So one of my favorites, and you better not use this because I've used this all over the country, is stinky chicken. Clever, right? But someone else around the country is using that too as their password, even though I said don't use it. I can guarantee you someone's using it. Another example of a passphrase would be purple squirrel. Now I found out yesterday at Niagara Falls that you don't want to use black squirrel. And why is that? They have them. So there is a such critter a lot of people don't know about, which is a black squirrel. In my wife's hometown of Marysville, Kansas, they have black squirrels too. So you could also use purple rhinoceros. You couldn't use purple dinosaur, and someone tell me why. Yes, that's true. But I was thinking of another purple dinosaur. Think back to the 1960s, to the Stone Age family. Dino! He was a purple dinosaur. So you couldn't use that. But get into the habit of using passphrases for all of your online accounts.
So how do the passphrases work if you need numbers? Don't a lot of them say numbers and an exclamation or something?
Yeah, so the question up front was, so what do you do about certain online accounts that require you to put characters and numbers and special characters in? You can add those in with the passphrase. So you could do your stinky chicken and then add 2023 and an exclamation mark. But the point is that you don't want to use like Ruby, 1, 2, 3, 4, or freedom, or USA 1, 2, 3. You want to get out of the habit of using common phrases and just make up your own goofy phrases. You could use obscure song titles and lyrics as a passphrase. But for example, you wouldn't want to use John 3:16 as a passphrase because it's a popular phrase. So get into the habit as far as your passphrases to create different ones, but get your pens out because there's a website called useapassphrase.com that will automatically help you come up with passphrases to use. So again, that website is useapassphrase.com. Now this website will bring up 4 different words, but you can just take a combination of 2 of the words and use them as your own passphrases. Because I know with passwords, it can be hard to come up with good ones. So that's why you want to visit useapassphrase.com to come up with different variations of passphrases. And key, as far as getting to the aspect of using passphrases, make sure that you're using a different passphrase for every online account that you have. And we'll talk about how to keep that safe and secure on another slide. So next is two-factor authentication or two-step authentication. Essentially, every online account that you have, you need to make it set up so that if you log in, then you're going to get a notification on your smartphone saying, hey, is this you logging in from Rochester, New York? And obviously, if someone gets a hold of your password and they're logging in from Kansas City, don't blame me, because I'm not going to do that. But it will alert you to know that someone outside of your area is trying to log into your account. And the two-factor authentication gives you the opportunity to counteract that and say, yes, this was me. I'm traveling, so yes, I am in Kansas City to root for the Chiefs. I know that's not going to happen, right? Or, no, this isn't me, and I want to stop that. So every online account that you have, set up two-factor authentication. Next, free email. Got to quit using it. It basically says hack me. So if you're using that old AOL account to do real estate transactions, you just can't give up the ghost with Yahoo. You got to stop using those free email accounts. And I know some of you are forwarding your brokerage email to like one email so that you can filter them all. But criminals target free email accounts because it's all a numbers game. They know that your extension is going to end in at AOL.com, Yahoo.com, and even if you're using a free version of Gmail, it's easy for them to send out spam emails. So it just makes you more susceptible to spam attacks when you use free email. And as you're going through your daily real estate business, you may accidentally click on one of those links and infect your device. So always either use your brokerage's email to do real estate transactions, or if you're an independent agent, set up your own name domain so that way you can eliminate or at least reduce the amount of spam email that's coming through. So let's talk about password keepers. There's there's probably some IT guy that's gonna give me the dog stare at me because of what I'm about to say. The best way you agents need to keep up with your passwords is to save them in your favorite web browser. So if you're a Mac user using Safari, if you're a Windows user using Edge or Chrome, all of the browsers have options for you to save your passwords within the browser. What this does is, number one, it allows you to keep up with all of those complicated passwords. But also, your password keeper will alert you if that weak password that you're using is found on the dark web. And so if you're looking and you get, oh my gosh, you've got 10 alerts that your passwords are on the dark web, that is your password keeper alerting you that you need to change your password. Not just sit there and stare at it and go, oh, yeah, maybe I should do something about that. Yeah, you should, right? So password keepers. You can use popular ones like 1Password or LastPass, which by the way was hacked recently. You can use Dashlane, and there's a few others out there, but keep it simple. I always believe in the KISS method. Keep it simple, silly, because no one's stupid, in my opinion. Keep it simple, silly, and use the browser, built-in browser password keeper. So remember that. Doesn't matter what browser, it's got it built in. Question. Out of the antivirus packages that are shown up here, which one's the best? Just shout it out. McAfee. Norton.
AVG.
Norton. Hey, Norton.
AVG.
AVG. Avast. So the correct answer is all of them suck. And the biggest challenge with antivirus software is that you don't know where it's manufactured. So if I said the word, and is it up there? No. If I said the word Kaspersky, what are you thinking? Russian. Are we in good terms with Russia? No. Uncle Putin doesn't like us. And a lot of antivirus software is state-sponsored, meaning that Kaspersky can say, oh my gosh, no, there's no way the Russian government is involved in our antivirus. So remember what antivirus does. It scans your computer to find viruses, right? But did you ever think that if you're using foreign antivirus software that it's doing more than scanning for viruses? Think about that. And you're probably not sure about the privacy laws in other countries, because we all know that software companies gather data on a regular basis. So if you're using a program like Kaspersky, where do you think your information's winding up? Probably in the hands of Russian terrorists, right? So let's point out the other ones that were out. So where do you think AVG is manufactured? Did someone say Russia?
America?
No. AVG comes from the Netherlands. Trend Micro? Out of Japan. Someone said ESET. That's also out of the Netherlands. The only ones that are up here that are American made are McAfee and Norton. And Avast is made overseas as well. So think about that when you use antivirus software. And I'm sure you're saying, Burton, shut up, quit rambling, what should I use? So if you're a Mac user, let's go back. Macs, the whole operating system, I think the latest one is Ventura, is an antivirus program itself. So there's no need for third-party antivirus programs if you are a Macintosh user. Again, show of hands, where are my Mac users? I have to do double hands, because I'm a Mac user too, believe it or not. So Windows users, what am I going to use to keep my computer safe? Windows Defender. It's been built into Windows since Windows 7. Now Windows 11 is out, and Windows Defender is built in. So there's no need for any of those third-party packages. So if your IT guy talked you into getting one of those third-party packages, you should be aware that a lot of antivirus software has what's called a partner program. So they probably talked you into it because they're getting a little kickback for having you install it on your system. So the word of the day is to uninstall antivirus software from your computer and use what's built in.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Myth or fact? I'll breeze through it real quick. So the Pilgrims came over to the United States in 1690. Is that a myth or a fact? So what year did they come over? I'm just curious. I know. I want to just shout it out. What year? 1621 is when they came over. Long time, right? So number 4, you want to set up automatic backup systems. If I can get this clicker right. So the best type of backup is cloud backup. So if you have a smartphone, you need to use Google Backup or you need to use Apple. Thank you, iCloud. It like froze for a minute, like, oh my gosh, what's the backup? But cloud backup is going to be your best scenario on whatever device you use. If you're a Windows or Mac user and you use your laptop, the best program out there is going to be Carbonite Backup. So for $80 a year, it's unlimited backup for your Windows or Mac. Carbonite. It was that stuff that Han Solo was encased in by Darth Vader so he could be delivered into the hands of Jabba the Hutt. That's where the name Carbonite comes in. Now you can use services like this, but that's more for cloud storage. You don't want to use OneDrive and Dropbox for backup. Those are so that you can access your files anywhere in the world. You want Carbonite because it offers redundancy as far as making sure if you get hit with ransomware, which will also take out your cloud backup files, that you can restore from earlier backup and get your stuff going. And there's Carbonite right there. Another myth or fact. I love these. I wish I could do the whole slide. So myth or fact, cookies are harmful to your computer. Is that a myth or a fact? That's kind of the double-edged sword. So it's a myth, but at the same time, you know, cookies do allow websites to view where you've been. So if you're looking for unmentionables online and then all of a sudden they show up on Facebook or Instagram, it's because websites are tracking your cookies. Now you can surf in what's called incognito mode and keep your surfing habits secret. So number 5 is to protect and manage your mobile devices. I have a question, yes.
DuckDuckGo.
What about DuckDuckGo?
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo is a good search engine, but it's still, I think you have to enable it. Will block your cookies so you won't be tracked, but it's good.
Okay.
So SIM card swapping is a known threat. That's why you need to keep your mobile phone number safe, because criminals can take your phone number, call your provider, and they can transfer your phone number to their phone number. So you want to make sure that you stay safe from SIM card swapping by keeping your mobile number safe. The solution, as real estate professionals, make sure that you're setting up like your public number is a Google Voice number or WhatsApp number to keep your real estate number safe. I know it's hard to change if you've got that number established, but you got to do it in order to stay safe. Now, as far as your mobile devices are concerned from getting compromised, the only way your smartphone is going to get hacked if you download some goofy app from the App Store. So when you're downloading apps for your smart devices, make sure that you're watching what you download from the App Store. And also password protect your phone because it encrypts it, which means it locks it up. So if a criminal gets your smartphone, they're not going to be able to get all of your buyer seller information on your phone. Yes, ma'am.
Downloading stuff from the App Store, like what are we looking out for? Because my son downloads like so many things. And
Read the reviews. So the question is what do I look for so I can stay safe from these malicious apps on the App Store? Read the reviews, because if someone was compromised by an app, they're definitely going to leave a 1-star review saying, don't download this app because it sucks. I infected my devices. Now, as far as keeping your computer safe, Windows users can download BitLocker, which will encrypt or lock your devices. Mac users can use FileVault, which is built in. And encryption, again, makes it so that criminals can't get your client, buyer, seller information. They just get a shiny device and you're keeping your buyer, seller information safe and secure. And turn on Find My Device. True story. I lost my phone in Philly 2 weeks ago for like 10 minutes. Find My Device helped me locate my smartphone, courtesy of my wife. And guess where my phone was?
where?
laying in the middle of the street. It got run over. But I have an OtterBox, so there's no damage. There's tire tracks on my phone. You can look at it. No damage. Turn it on. Find my device. So number 6, keep your devices updated and secure. So quickly, if you're a Windows user, you need to be using 10 or 11. If you're a Mac user, you need to be using either Big Sur or Ventura, which just came out a few weeks ago. There's Big Sur. And same thing for your smartphones. Android 12 is the latest update for your Android devices. And if you are an iPhone user, iPhone 16 is what you need to download, like immediately. Now, the challenge is with your devices, if you can't update your device to the latest operating system, it's time to get a new device. And realistically, you need to expect like maybe a 4 to 5 lifespan max for your smartphones. So keep that in mind. I almost wanted to ask J-Man, what are you using? What did you download iOS 16 for your iPhone, my friend?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, Jeremiah. Yeah, sure.
I did, as you said.
Thank you. So number 7 is beware of those unknown cyber threats, and there's a lot out there that you probably don't think of. Free Wi-Fi. Who connected to the hotel's free Wi-Fi? Come on, everyone connected. Heck, I connected. That's not to say your devices are going to get hacked if you connect to free Wi-Fi. The lesson of this, the moral of the story is, when you connect to free Wi-Fi, just verify that you're connecting to free Wi-Fi of the location that you're using, that some hacker doesn't have like a fake one set up to get your information. So, but you can use free Wi-Fi all you want to. Virtual private network, or VPN, one of the best ones out there is TunnelBear, just like it sounds. And a VPN is used if you're, or needs to be used if you're a mobile real estate agent. So if you're going into the unknown and you're surfing the web, especially if you're accessing websites that could expose buyer-seller information, you need to download a VPN on your device. And I hate to tell you, they're not free. Alexa devices are always listening in. Same thing with Google Home. So if you're sharing sensitive information, unplug these devices or turn them off, because they're recording everything that you're saying, and now even law enforcement can even get into your devices. All they need is a warrant. Shoulder surfers, you're entering in your PIN numbers on unknown devices. You might want to consider for your laptop or your smartphone to get one of those screens that will conceal your information unless people are looking directly on. And they're fairly cheap. And of course, devices are high theft items, so make sure you turn on Find My Device so that criminals can't get your information. And finally, hope this is the last one. Your kids are notorious for getting your devices ruined. They drop them in the toilet, they step on them. They want to download games, so they go to questionable sites and download stuff onto your computers and devices. And they definitely can be a major cyber threat. My boys are notorious for this, and my wife keeps giving them her devices. And she runs to me, oh my God, I got a virus. I'm like, get the kids their own stuff. That way they're not infecting your phone or your computer, and I have to do it. So last myth or fact, this is a good one, because it's near and dear to me. I know there's a turkey up there, but I gotta ask, myth or fact, cornbread stuffing is better than white bread stuffing. Is that a myth or is that a fact?
Fact, fact.
Yes! Yes! Fact! Fact! I'll fight you outside if you say white bread stuffing is better than cornbread stuffing. There you go. To wrap things up, it's in your hands as far as making sure that all of your devices are safe from cyber criminals. Trust me, all of your devices cannot be hacked into. So you need to be vigilant about all of the cyber threats out there and make sure that you think before you click on anything, whether it be an email, a text message, or even a voice call that comes in. Think before you deal with it. Because I know as real estate professionals, those calls come in, you're like, I gotta respond to it. Take a step back, pump the brakes, chill, think, and you will be safe from most of this, or I should say 99% of the cyber facts out there. I'm gonna leave you with this, not me. Let's go back to the quote. Leave you with this quote. I want you to be confident. I want you to be secure. And I want you all to live the best life possible. So I'm Burton Kelso. You can connect with me anywhere on social media. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today. Thank you.
Another round of applause for